Developing confidence without practice. They were in Journey episode 16, 19. Well, usually I'm probably the biggest advocate for practice. So how can you develop confidence without practice? Well, of course, there's practice. Yeah. The more you do something, the more confident you become. The more skillful you get, the more confident you become. So it's not just about doing it again and again. It's also about actually getting better. Well, it depends what it is. Some things actually don't really require much. Some things don't really require much skills. Let's say approaching someone. Well, it actually does require skill. You know, the skill of communication, the skill of reading the person in front of you. And I guess a lot of people, me included, were there or still there, having this approach fear that we have, whether you're a salsa party asking for someone to dance, whether you're just an event and you want to talk to someone, whether it's the opposite sex, whether it's not the opposite sex, it's not easy to just, approach. So of course, practice. Yeah, learn the skills, practice the skills, learn the, read the books, this, whatever, and practice. But how you can do that without practice? Well, again, of course, also practice. Yeah, it doesn't. But there's another facet, something interesting that I want to share with you that actually has nothing to do with much practice. Well, I guess you can practice anything. Maybe you can practice this as well. But this is something a bit different. It's about perspective. On the extreme, you can think about it as the worst case scenario. So imagine yourself, you're right there, you're in the party, you're in the event, there's a guy, there's a girl, you want to approach them, so you feel this kind of fear, okay? So you don't want to have this fear, or, well, of course, there's, just the attitude, so you can feel the fear, so you can just label that fear with being uncomfortable. You can label this fear with being excited, it can give you energy. These other things. Other than that, even though we might build a fantasy around this person because they look good, we're attracted to them, or they are the best dancer, we want to dance with them, or whatever. We might build a fantasy around them, but putting the fantasy aside, I think some key reminders can be quite helpful to develop our confidence or just have a better perspective. One is, what's the worst case? Let's say they would say no, then what? Nothing really happened, so you didn't lose your job, you're still healthy, there's no actually bad implications, of them saying no. So what's the worst case? What's the, sometimes just the idea that makes us scared. I don't know. So what's the worst case? And also, how much do we really care, So you won't dance with them. So they are very good dancers. Oh, there are other dancers. It's not that big of a deal, really. Yeah. Dancing or not dancing with them. Going out with them or not going out with them. But, think about searching for partners and the opposite sex. Well, I still remember conversations with friends in the past. Yes, we build a fantasy. This is one thing. Another thing is, well, you actually don't really know her or him, Yes, they look good. Maybe there's some chemistry, but you actually don't know them, So you can say, even if she says no, even if he says no, and they're not, you've no, this is not, there's no, it's not a big miss, because you actually have no idea who they are, Maybe they're insane, maybe they're this, I don't know. It's important to realize that whatever intuition we have, chemistry we feel, whatever, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't mean much. Not because we don't care, not because we just, being very indifferent. We just don't know them. And zooming out to this, to just having even a better perspective for this situation is, well, you actually don't even kind of have them. So you see someone, you're interested, a guy or a girl, doesn't matter. You see someone, you actually have nothing to lose when you approach them. You actually have nothing to lose because one, you don't really have them right now because you don't date them, that they are not your boyfriend. There's no risk of losing them because you don't have them. Worst case, you can just get them, like it's just, there's actual no risk here. There's no worst case. You can deal with the worst case. And even though you are excited, which is good, it's definitely not the end of the world. And it's not perspective. So this is the thing that you can do to get better, to be more confident without practice. Without practicing, let's be specific, without practicing the actual action that you want to be confident with. Practicing this thought process, of course, is still practice. So you can practice that as well. Yes, everything comes down to some sort of practice. Have an amazing day. See you tomorrow, day 1. Let's go.